And not only are we bringing you team coverage of tonight's results, we also bring you the region's best expert analysis of today's midterms.
Yeah, we are joined now by Dr. Mark Caleb Smith, Director of the Center for Political Studies at Cedarville University. Thank you for being with us here tonight.
It's always a pleasure.
All right, so we are still keeping our eye on that gubernatorial race. They've been neck and neck for most of the night. It looks like DeWine is pulling ahead here. What are you thinking as we move forward with this night?
I think the DeWine camp should be feeling pretty confident right now. Certainly we have a ways to go before we could call it, but I think given the dynamics and given the past and given sort of the way that Ohio looks at the moment, I think DeWine's in really good shape. So not all the vote is out yet, I think, in Cuyahoga County, so that could still make a difference. But also there are quite a few rural counties that are still out for DeWine, and so I think he's in a good position at the moment.
All right, so that's the governor's race. Mark, let's go on now to the other, in my mind, the other big ticket item tonight, which was issue 1. All the polls indicated it was within the margin of error. It was supposed to be close. It was not close at all. It went down in flames.
Yeah, it really did. I was a little bit surprised of the size of the defeat that we were looking at for issue 1. I think a lot of it's really due to the complexity of the issue. Complicated issue that people maybe didn't quite fully grasp, and so their default in that situation is just simply to vote no.
Mark, the other thing that comes to mind for me, of course, well, I guess we should touch on the Senate race. Sherrod Brown being reelected for 6 more years. Renacci actually made a pretty strong showing, but it was called early for Sherrod Brown. Your thoughts on that race?
I think it's quite interesting. I mean, if Ohio really is kind of tipping to the right here, becoming more of a strong Republican state, then Sherrod Brown, one of the more liberal members of the United States Senate, is able to win convincingly. It's also interesting, I think, that Jim Renacci had a pretty close connection with President Trump and was really a Trump kind of candidate in many ways, and suffered a pretty significant defeat. And so it's interesting to think what this means for Ohio and what it means for the future.
And you know what, let's maybe end with a broader look here nationally and what this midterm election means with the Democrats taking control of the House. What are your thoughts there?
I think the biggest change that you're going to see is more investigations of the president and the Trump administration in general. So the Democrats have control of those committees. They can investigate pretty much at their leisure. They can issue subpoenas to the president for information and for witnesses, and I expect it to get quite combative as a result. Maybe at the most extreme, they'll attempt to impeach the president. So it's going to create, I think, even more division in Washington, believe it or not.
All right, so again, overall, the Democrats retaking control of the U.S. House, but not the 10th District in Ohio. That race has just been called for Republican Mike Turner. Mark Caleb Smith, thank you so much. We appreciate your work all day today here on 2 News.